A Fort Hare University student has reportedly jumped off the 12th floor of the student residency at the university. It is said that the 24-year-old male student was last seen standing on the 12th floor. Later on, he was found lying deceased on the 5th floor. And this is not only the only incident that has shocked that university. You would have seen the hashtag Justice for Nosicelo trending on social media as others are calling for justice for such a gruesome killing that, a lot of people woke up to on Thursday morning. And to talk to us then, we have the Department of Community Safety spokesperson, Unathi Binqose. Unathi, good evening to you, and thank you so much for your time this evening. It's certainly not an easy conversation to have, as when you look at the circumstances around this particular incident, it really is shocking that somebody could be chopped up in pieces and put in a suitcase. What has been the reaction of the MEC when the story surfaced?
The news have been disturbing. They've been really, really shocking to just about everyone in the province, the MEC included. And of course, the Premier of the province, Oscar Mabuyane, has expressed shock at these news. And this came at a time when the province was battling to come to terms with the mass death of people in a bus accident that happened on Monday evening. And then on Thursday, it emerged that there was this gruesome murder that had actually taken place. So it is really, really disturbing for everyone. And the province of the Eastern Cape is really, really reeling from what has happened here. And it would feel as though this one is even more tragic than that crash, which can be termed an accident. But this one hits differently because we are talking here about two young people who had a bright future ahead of them. The young girl was sadly killed in this incident. And of course, the young guy who now has his life changed forever. And our condolences are going out to the family of the young girl who has lost their child, whom possibly they were looking unto to change their circumstances at home. And of course, we also feel for the family of this young boy who has committed this gruesome crime, and we are calling on the criminal justice system to go its course and in this case decisively.
And today we're learning this evening as well from police who are saying at the same university there's now a student who appears to have committed suicide. One could say it doesn't rain but pours for this institution that has been the center of some anger from students in recent days who say that they're tired of seeing gender-based violence incidents.
My sister, it feels like deja vu for us here in the province, because it was only 18 months ago when we witnessed a similar case to this one, but whose gender was different slightly, where Yonela Boli was stabbed to death by his girlfriend, Yolanda Nokemani. And days after that, there was another murder of someone who had actually witnessed that incident. And for things to happen in this manner again, where we hear of this murder of this young girl who was a law student, and only days later to hear about the death of another student, is really, really disturbing for us as the province of the Eastern Cape. As a matter of fact, a lot of government departments are to come together to look for ways to come and to go and mitigate this situation, because it is becoming a very disturbing trend what is happening at that institution. Yes, it may have happened in different campuses, but it's still the same institution. And it is a call upon us as the government of the province to do something to try maybe and enhance education towards learners in terms of tolerance. We know that they are going through a lot of struggles of their own. We know that institution for having protests after protests, and those are rooted in some of the troubles that they may be facing at the institution. But none of those troubles we would have expected would result into these matters. I'm not by any means implying that these matters may be related to the learner struggle, to the student struggles at the institutions, but we know that they are going through a lot in that institution, and it is incumbent upon us as government and of course communities to come together and assist our learners, whether it's psychological, financial, or any other means that we can go and intervene, because we can't just fold our arms and watch our future leaders killing each other in this manner.
And one of the things that will be important, I guess, for government is also the kind of messaging that is then put out to the students during this time. We saw the Buffalo City mayor coming under attack, especially when those activists were saying, you cannot keep talking about women and young girls having to leave these relationships all the time, and the focus only becomes on the women and what they can and cannot do in such relationships, but nothing is being said about the perpetrators themselves, and we saw him coming under fire for some of these statements. So messaging is also going to be important on the side of government.
Without a doubt, my sister, we have to think very carefully about what we are saying to these learners. I mean, hearing these news, I'm embarrassed myself as a man sitting here and talking about this incident. I feel like I'm not even worthy to talk about this, because it is really, really embarrassing in the manner in which it happened, and we are apologizing as the province of the Eastern Cape to all the women out there, all the young girls that are suffering at the hands of men, and we are hoping that we'll be able to find a solution to this problem. And of course, it will take more than just words, but it will take action in order for us to get over this situation. It is completely unacceptable. It is something that we are working really, really hard to put an end to, and we would stop at nothing in ensuring that we do not witness anything of this nature ever happening again in this province, whether it's in academic institutions or it's just a domestic affair at home. But it's even more disturbing when you are seeing people aged only 23 and 25 being victims and committers of these crimes. So it is incumbent upon us as government and as a community at large to ensure that we put an end to this. And like I'm saying, we'll stop at nothing in finding solutions to put an end to these atrocities.
Have you reached out to the family of Nosicelo?
It is in our plans to ensure that we reach out to the family of Nosicelo. And of course, we are liaising with our officers who are closer to her home. We understand that she is from Matatia, and of course, it is something that we're going to speed up in ensuring that we provide some psychological assistance. I mean, it's been very, very traumatic for everyone who has seen those images that have been doing the rounds on social media, and we're calling on everyone who may have them to stop sharing them. I haven't seen them myself, and I have no appetite to see them. And we are calling on anyone who has them to just delete them and stop sharing them, because we feel like it is humiliating this girl even further and her family even further by continuing to share that. And we know about the social media rules. I mean, it may well be a crime to continue doing that. So we are urging anyone who may be sitting with these images on their phones to rather get rid of them, because we are using them for criminal investigations, and we need not put any more trauma on these families. But we'll make sure that we'll reach out to the family of Nosicelo as the provincial government as well. But at the moment, it has been downgraded to the regions for now. However, come next week, we'll make sure that we'll reach out to that family physically. And the Premier of the Eastern Cape has shown a high appetite to go and meet with that family. And of course, it will be also important. I know a lot of people may not even like this, but we have to spare thought for the family of this guy who has committed this gruesome crime. We have to understand that that family did not instruct this young man to go and do that. They are probably more traumatized than any of us, probably maybe less than the family of the victim, but I'm sure they are also just as traumatized as the rest of us, if not more traumatized by what has happened here. Because we are talking here about a young man who may have been the hope of their family who has committed this crime. And trying to study more about this young man, we heard that he was working in one of the funeral parlors in East London. So we need to go and visit that family as well to provide some counseling to them and those who are close to them.
All right, thank you so much for your time, as we hope then that the families will receive the support that in fact they require at this time. That was Unathi Binqose. He's the spokesperson for the Department of Community Safety.